Just had to get that sort of stressed out. So, this morning we had the second session. We had the second session of the morning's hearing with the return of former Spycops manager, Dave Smith, not to be confused with Blacklisting Support Group activist Dave Smith.
Joined Dave Smith.
Or any other Dave Smiths, in fact. Remember, talking to that microphone, it should work fine. I'm joined once again with Chris Bryan of the Undercover Research Group, who's come a bit closer to me to be on screen. Yeah, and hopefully we get over the technical hiccups that define our approach. So, a lot more I don't remembers, plenty of common senses, lots of dare I says, plenty of chatter about the lads, but no banter with the lads. Definitely, there was never, not once, no banter with the lads, though they did get pissed up together regularly and talk freely and let off steam, but there was no banter about shagging. Definitely not. Doesn't remember much, but he remembers that didn't exist.
What's it called? The Vino Veritas sessions.
What?
Is that what he said?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid I didn't do Latin in school. I'm sorry.
No, me neither.
So I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah, he kept going on about that. He mentioned those, but he made a point of saying that no sexual relationships were mentioned in those.
Yeah, but he doesn't remember lots.
Even though it was free. Like one of the other things he doesn't remember is Red Line Square, where Kevin Gately was killed.
Yeah, I'd really like to underline this. This was the first time that someone was killed on a public demonstration in Britain for 55 years. It couldn't be a more significant event in many ways for the guy who was the manager of the undercover police that infiltrated the organisation he was part of and that protest that they was on. And as soon as it's brought up, he almost interrupted to go, "Oh, I don't remember. The name Red Line Square rings a bell, but nothing. No. I can't help." Which is just fucking disingenuous fucking lying by a fucking professional fucking liar, basically.
Yeah, I mean, even if he just read some of the documents he would have. So that doesn't seem very credible.
It's completely it's just a lie. And just the way that he was so keen to get the fact that there was this lie in, sometimes they kind of get, okay, they can be weasel and whatever, but when it's just something so blatant as that, and it's something which is blatantly, serious as that, you just think, this fucking chancer, this fucking pathetic character is just, can't take anything they say seriously, which we know when we go into these processes that we can't trust professional liars to tell the truth, but fucking hell, that was blatant.
Yeah, talking of liars, which we are doing so.
At length.
So there's one guy who, prior to the inquiry starting, we thought was quite important, a guy called Wilf Knight.
Mm.
Now, he was interviewed in True Spies, and he said he was Mike Ferguson's handler in the SDS. So what we now know is, in fact, they didn't actually have any handlers back in those days. They spoke to the managers at the safe houses, etc. But on Wilf Knight, the only document which the inquiry has published in relation to him is the script of the True Spies episode. So it seems that then Wilf Knight was never in the Special Demonstrations Squad, let alone any kind of cover officer for Mike Ferguson. Basically he seems to have made everything up in the interview. Well, at least that part in the interview. And it's more likely that he would have heard anecdotally from working with Mike Ferguson at some point in his career, together on Special Branch or elsewhere, I don't know. That's when he heard all about the specifics of the SDS. So of course he was a Special Branch officer, so he might have heard them chat about it contemporarily, I guess, as well. So, but yeah, there you go, another lie. Even lied on TV, would you believe?
Lying on TV, who'd have thought it, eh? Fucking hell.
So yeah, we've got. I was going to reference our Powerbase article on Wilf night in the write up of today's hearings, but now I've got to go in and change that because it does seem that because we took it, well, the only evidence we had was his interview, and we took him as that being true, and now we need to go back and just say actually that part it was totally made up.
There's a moral in there somewhere about like believing things or anything. I mean, it's like it does make the whole fucking process so difficult. It's that you kind of like, oh, that's a tidbit. Oh no, that's a lie. I mean, like we could say we should just. Oh, hang on. Have I got these? Does that sound better? Have I improved the sound now, or have I made it worse?
I don't know.
God. I think that's better. Yeah, if it's one of those things where putting faith in anything that comes out of these fuckers is like, But like, what else are you meant to do? How else do you follow the proceedings? Really, it's infuriating. So I'm just going to check the levels of the sound.
He was Mike Ferguson's handler in the SDS. So what we now know is.
Oh, hang on, that's just so delayed. It doesn't make any sense. In terms of other things that were said, like I said, it wasn't a particularly illuminating session, and most of the topics were not, should we say, like the ones that are necessarily of interest to casual viewers of the inquiry. Hopefully this afternoon will be different. We've got Roy Creamer, who was someone the inquiry originally did not want to call. I don't want to use the term victories, but it was a minor victory for us to be able to. Hang on, I'll answer the door. Do you want to speak, Chris?
I don't know what to say now. Now I'm on the spot. Roy Creamer, is that what we're talking about? So, Roy Creamer's evidence we're going to hear. It's going to be a bit later now because old Dave Smith is going to come back for a few questions, maybe. Yeah, should we call him David Smith?
David Smith. I mean, he goes by Dave Smith, so he will be the process of further questions being asked of witnesses means that we get that 10-minute delay, as people remember from the last phase. A little 10-minute break at the end of each section, and then they come back and there's the further questions. Well, we've done that after lunch.
I mean, because I was writing up the first session this morning. Maybe I missed it, but was he? He doesn't seem to be asked very much about his time in C Branch.
Very limited. There was some questions about his time in C Branch to do with the writing of the threat assessments.
Yeah.
But beyond that, no, it was very limited. We have been joined in the room by Carolyn from the Campaign Opposing Police Surveillance. Do you want to come and give any reactions? She's shaking her head violently, so that's not happening. And holding up food. We may be joined later on by others who've gone out to get their lunch, including my lunch, so I want to get off screen to eat at some point. So we will give more reaction to that again. So this afternoon with Roy Creamer should be more interesting than this morning was. He's a significant character. Yeah, what I was saying before I answered the door, he wasn't meant to be called by the inquiry. He was in the end because, he said, he was such a key part of the management. It's fucking ridiculous that he wasn't being called, quite frankly. But we've seen that time and again with the inquiry of them just, avoiding bringing former undercover cops or managers of undercover cops to give evidence just because, it's too much work or something. I don't really know. Fuckers. We'll be doing a Twitter Spaces later on today at 7 o'clock again, as I did last week, beginning of last week. I thought they were good. If anybody has got any comments about what to say, either comment on Twitter, join the Twitter Spaces, contact us by all the various means. Wherever you're seeing this, there'll be a comment section on it. Feel free to chime in. We'll be following everything this week. I'm not missing any more sessions for the rest of the week. So after each of during all the breaks and the lunch breaks, we'll be giving our reaction on this platform. wherever you're watching this now. We'll take a bit of a break there. We will rejoin before we come back from lunch when some others come back in, so you're not just listening to me and Chris talk. Though, Chris, you're not here for the rest of the week, are you?
No, I'm not. I'll be at home. I'll be in the South Wales office.
Yeah, in the South. Why, my house?
Yeah, you
Yes.
can give us the key.
Fucking hell. But Chris will be joining us without fail every evening at 7 o'clock for the Twitter Spaces. Is that right?
I'll do my best.
Fucking hell. Promises. Yeah. Well, it's so hopefully we'll get to hear what Chris thinks of what's happening through that, but he won't be here in person. All right. I will join you again in a bit. Thanks.